Right. I did unmute. Yeah. Just
This process actually starts with the Board of County Commissioners, which is something that I have stressed several times. But she's always told me it has to start in line. If you want the Robert County to do is start this process first. The map itself, District 5 will actually run from around the Cherry Tree Road area up until the Warren County line. On the map itself, as that part of our county gets narrowed, it seems like there's not a lot of land, but there is a lot of people there. District 4 will run from Cherry Tree Road down to Interstate 95. That would be the gas precinct. Once you get on the eastern side of Interstate 95, District 3 will take care of Seaboard, Garrisburg, and Pleasant Hill, and down into the Oshkosh Lake area. And once you get towards the Jackson area, that those lines will not go north to south or go east to west, as they will divide Conway and Severn into District 1 and Rich Square, and Woodland into District 2. When you get on that part of the county, there's a lot more farmland, so the population is thick, so the land mass itself actually comes into play. I think when we speak to the Board of Education, towards the end of last year, while also looking at having what we call true districts where we would have the commissioners would not be voted upon at large throughout the county, but we would be voted into office based upon the district that you represent. And when it came to the school board, there would be 5 school board members, 1 assigned to each district, but then the other 2 seats would be at large. And for some reason, when the district did not have someone, then that would become an at-large seat. This is something that is going to be on you to take into consideration. I know there has been some votes and some campaigning about this, about making this happen in our last election cycle. And we do want to be able to see something like this too.
Thank you. That's all the comments I have, Commissioners. Okay. The next item is the Ron John Community College request for continued support. They spoke last week, or last meeting, and showed that we were not supporting the community college. Our budget percent was not equal to our students' percentage. And so they were asking for additional support. So I guess there's 2 things to look at. I don't know if she made it as clear in her presentation here as she did in the meeting we had directly with them. But they're facing a shortfall this year. And also, so it's kind of 2 things to consider. Can we help any additional with this year's budget? And also, do we want to propose in the future to try to make every effort we can to match our student participation with the budget participation?
Sure, I got a concern question. I was thinking about this. She presented all of these percentages, but what I did not see was a breakdown of how many students are being served from the service areas. For example, Lake Shalom services those people in Jackson, Rich Square, Richie, and those areas down in that portion of Northampton County. Halifax Community College has the other area. So I'm a little confused that she didn't have a breakdown of how many students she's serving in each area. And secondly, I would like to have seen some type of enrollment plan to increase enrollment among our Northampton County students. Now, I understand the increase, but I don't think we need to really look at giving away $85,000 and we don't know who being served. I want to make sure that our kids are being served. If they're going to get that money, then let's break it down and make sure they give our kids merit scholarships with their money so they can go to school. But I want to know what service areas is she serving. I need a breakdown of how many kids out of Jackson are going to Monk-Shawan College. How many kids from Jackson are going? And what enrollment strategies have they implemented to get our kids from that end of our county to come to their school? Have you set up in the library, which is the diamond we have here in our county? Do you call the students? Do you send out emails, newsletters? I want to know that before I feel comfortable. I mean, it's just me. I mean, everybody vote like they want to, but I'm just saying, if you go ask for $85,000, almost $200,000, I want to make sure that the kids, our students, our young folk in Northampton County, on that end are being served with fidelity.
Anyone else have any comments or discussion? You know, we can, if you want to give me a list of questions,
Absolutely.
I can send to her and ask for the details. How many students from each town or area, whatever.
Because I'm seeing nothing in the report saying anything about her strategic outreach plan to get our students to come there. And you got percentage of who? Hertford County, Bertie? Who are you talking about? I want to make sure our students get it.
Yeah, I definitely think more information would be helpful if we could ask those questions, because I do know that there's been an interest in having a GED program in that part of the county, and just from some community contacts that had reached out to me, they shared that, you know, that they have wanted to try to build a partnership but had not gotten much support in that. And I know we're speaking specifically to like the student participation, but one of my concerns as being the representative of that area is just the lack of activity that's going on. We have a building, we have a sign at Roanoke-Shawan Community College on it, but there's nothing taking place. Citizens have expressed about wanting to have classes there. They were told, well, if you can find an instructor, then we'll, allegedly we will, support you in that stance. But I would have to agree with Commissioner Brocknax-Taylor that we definitely would like more information about the number of students that are being served, because I definitely know that we've got a lot of babies that are not, that don't have a high school diploma. We want to get that resource to them. And that partnership is critical, not only just in the realm of them participating in Roanoke-Shawan Community College's program, but also in the partnerships that they have agreed to build with low-wealth communities. So that's just one of my concerns as well. As we continue to make decisions with our eyes open and being good stewards of our finances. And so certainly just making sure we're asking all the necessary questions and being as transparent as possible. So that's just my thoughts on that.
I would like to ask any commissioner then that has some questions that we would like to present to them, to get those back to me, and we will send her all the questions we have before we further, take any action on this matter. I do think it's important that we support them, but I understand if we have questions, we don't just hand over a blank check when we don't know what's going on. So I would ask all the commissioners that have any questions that we'd like to send to Roanoke-Shawan College, get them to me, and we will put them together as a group. Right. So,
And I thank you, Chair Martin. I would also welcome any citizens that have any questions that you would like for us to ask. Please, let us know that as well, because again, we represent you. Just 3-4 months ago, I was in the audience where you guys are, and I never lose sight of that. So I want to make sure that I'm asking the necessary questions, I'm advocating for the things we need to advocate for. But being in Rich Square day in and day out and seeing the disparities that take place there, education is the key that can break generational poverty. And so as much as we can serve our students all over Northampton County, but because we're talking about Roanoke Shawan, it is critical that we have all of the answers to the questions that we need. And that way we know funding is being spent the way that it should, and that it's serving those that it's been intended to serve.
Yes, as Commissioner Whitaker said, if anyone has a question, send it to us and we can put those in with the questions also.
I will send you mine tomorrow.
Okay. So is the wishes of the board then that we table this until we get answers to our questions?
Yes, that's my stance.
All right, do we need a motion for that? Yes.
And it needs to be tabled to a date certain,
Okay.
just for the boards. The two scheduled meetings in March are March 3rd and March 17th.
All right. How about the 17th? That would give us time to get them the questions and then get answers back. Okay. Do we have a motion to do that then?
I make a motion that we table the issue regarding the request for continued support from Roanoke Shawan Community College to March the 17th.
Second.
All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
I, Brian X. Taylor.
Aye. Motion is carried. Okay, the next item was the insurance increase on county employees. They offered us two options. One was the county to absorb the increase, or option two is to let the employee pay the increase. This increase is, the county only pays the employee's insurance. I want to make sure everybody understands that. If they have any family coverage, spouse, children, whatever, the employee already picks that up. So the question before us is, are we going to pay the increase for the employee himself? So what are the wishes of the board?
Chairman, I think we need to support our workers, our people in the county. I think we're very fortunate to have qualified people. I think we need to support our workers.
Okay, do we have that in a motion to,
I make it a motion.
okay, to the county to pay the increase?
Second.
All right, is there any further discussion?
No, just echoing the same sentiments as Commissioner Keith Edwards, in that, you know, our employees, they do a great job, and the cost of things are going up, and I feel as we're trying to retain staff, that this is one of the key factors in that. So it definitely support doing that.
All right, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
I, Brian X. Taylor.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion is carried. Next item is continue with our department head overview, starting with Public Works. Have anyone? Okay. Okay, do we have Cooperative Extension? I believe I saw Craig out there.
Good evening, how y'all doing?
Doing good?
I was looking to see if anything was gonna pop up on the screen. I did have a PowerPoint. I think something's coming up.
Okay.
If not, got my picture. Excellent.
There you go.
All right, thanks to the IT people. Yes, I'm representing North Carolina Cooperative Extension, and we are a county partner, and we appreciate y'all's partnership. We are representatives of North Carolina A&T State University and NC State University. And we have an office in every county of the state, including Cherokee Reservation. To
go to the next slide will show our mission statement, and that is to partner with our county partners and make sure we deliver education and technology that enriches the lives, land, and economy of citizens of North Carolina. I wanted to give you kind of a brief breakdown of how we're set up in Northampton County, so if we can go to the next slide. This is just a little bit of a pie chart showing our different program areas. We have agriculture, where we work with our farming community and our business, our farm partnerships and our ag businesses. We have 3 different positions under that. 2 of them currently filled, 1 by myself. So I do ag, and I'm also the county director. We have Brandon Pike, who is doing our livestock programming, and currently we have a vacancy in our horticulture agent position. If you go over to the other top side and look, we've got 4-H, where we try to, or we do work with the youth of our county, and we just try to enrich their lives and try to make them become better citizens in the future. We've got Kimberly Daughtry, who's our 4-H agent. We've got Erica Love, who's our 4-H program assistant. And then if you drop down to the bottom, my bottom left, you see family and consumer science, where we try to promote healthy lifestyles, healthy living, and help folks who have challenges with different things like diabetes and stuff like that. We provide education for all those areas. We currently have Elizabeth Coggins, who's our family and consumer science person in that position. We have interviewed for our FNEP position, but I didn't feel comfortable putting a name in that spot yet. But by beginning of March, we should have a body in that position, and we'll be doing expanded food and nutrition education with that. And then finally, if you look over to the support staff on the bottom right, I am currently without an admin, and that is putting a little extra strain on me. I'm learning clerical skills and all kinds of other skills that I don't know if I really have, but I'm trying. And also this summer, budget building, we're still going to have an agriculture intern for a young person that's in the area, and give them the opportunity to work in our office and learn about cooperative extension, and maybe hopefully build them up for future endeavors in the county. And if you go to the last slide, you'll see that we just have our county budget for this current year. That is our total for our salaries and our operating budget. And I did want y'all to realize that we do try to leverage funding. So with our FCS position, we're 34% state. We do SNAP-Ed education. So we're bringing in 33% of the salary for that position from the SNAP-Ed program. And then the county's got the other 33%. I mentioned Brandon Pike, who's livestock. That's a shared agent position with the state and Halifax County. And those are the percentages that we have for that position. And in the vacant horticulture position that I mentioned, we also do similar percentages. So that is just a quick synopsis of Northampton County Cooperative Extension. I don't know if I'm supposed to take any questions or just provide the information. Good? All right.
Thank you, Greg.
All right, thank y'all for the opportunity and time.
Next, we have the Veterans Affairs. Thank you, Justice. I'm Rich Page. I'm the Veteran Service Officer for Northampton County. I haven't spoken for you this week before. Been here about 14 months, I think, right now. I finished certification training back in April. Not sure what kind of information you like. If you want to, for future references, what you want to tell me this kind of thing you're talking about, I'll bring in the numbers or what have you, or I'll make it up, make it a good story.
Just generally explain, especially to the new commissioners, what your office does.
We help veterans in the county with acquiring their benefits that they're eligible for through the Veterans Administration. And
I do so as a county employee working in coordination with the North Carolina Veterans Department as well as the Federal Veterans Administration. And of course, the Veterans Administration is the part that compensation and also for medical care that we have to work by their rules to be able to get these benefits for the veterans in the county. If I understand the numbers on population and stuff, I didn't realize there were quite so many veterans when I took this job. About 10% of the county are veterans. Just kind of one of those wild numbers that what they receive in compensation and pension brings about $12 million as far as money that we spend in the county. So that's interesting. It's a part-time position. They're about 25 to 30 hours a week, typically Monday through Thursday. Of course, that Monday through Thursday gets eaten up with appointments and sometimes having to go to a resident to help a certain veteran or what have you that may not be ambulatory enough to be able to come outside their residence or other types of stuff. So try to deal with an appointment basis to get the veterans what they need. That's about it. Anything else?
I'd like to know how many veterans are you serving at this time in our county? Do you have a count for that?
Well, I serve all of them.
But how many? Do you have a percent? About 100 or 50?
You touch them in so many different ways. And just pure compensation applications since May when I was certified to be able to do that, I've submitted about 108, 109 applications. But that doesn't include those who come to me because they need a tax form signed because they're eligible for a property tax exemption or because they're a disabled veteran and they're eligible for the disabled veterans tax. There are also handling when a veteran passes away. There are death benefits that are available. So you help them next in with those death benefits, getting heads, human services, compensated investors.
Are there any additional supports that you feel like we can put into place to assist our veterans in the county?
One particular issue that comes up, not in mass scale, but there are a few veterans who are homeless. And it's also my understanding there are other citizens who are homeless. So I've been trying to figure out how to suggest to the guys to consider, let's come up with some plan to have at least just temporary housing to be able to bring these people in out of the weather. And back and forth with multiple departments right now with one particular veteran who, regardless of why he is homeless, he is homeless. And here we are at the dead of winter. And I don't think that the potential downside of that is something we really want to deal with as a county. We don't want that. So I don't know the formal process, but some sort of means of identifying or creating temporary housing or something to help someone like that.
Anyone else have any comments? I'd just like to thank you for working with the veterans. Yes, ma'am.
Can I ask you a question, please?
Yes.
Do you have, procedures where you deal with veterans with mental health issues? How's that dealt with?
Well, there have been without getting too personal, there have been a few that have come in with, there's one individual that I'm speaking about who's almost deals with that.
You might be speaking about the same person who just happened.
But you have to deal with what I've come to find out. It's not cut and dry before we step in and intervene in someone's life. Where I lived before in Virginia, it was a magistrate. It was a little bit easier in Virginia to set control. You thought somebody was going to be doing harm. It doesn't seem to be quite that easy in North Carolina. But yes, I deal with that, and not just that one individual, but there have been a few in there. And unfortunately, a downside is that many that come to me are not literacy is not a spring. So it's easy for people to take an advantage. And so then I have to become this kind of a coach and mentor to tell them, make sure they do this, don't do that, don't divulge this type of stuff. Because there are people out there who take advantage of those, who don't know what they're signing, or don't know necessarily what their rights are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is the EMS.
Good evening.
Tonight I come to y'all, commissioners, citizens, and even visitors, to give insight on the EMS system and what my department actually does to the county. For one, we offer 24/7 paramedic coverage throughout the county, for staff, to maintain 4 ambulances 24 hours a day, and the 5th ambulance in our peak hours from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. These providers have been strategically stationed throughout the county with 5 locations: Conway, Brick Square, Jackson, Leadville, and Richmond. Recently, I believe back in April 2024, we made a couple moves to decrease our response time, especially in the vehicle, the SMAs. We also have a quick response vehicle in the center of the county, in Jackson, and the community paramedic in Conway. Our EMS providers are passionate, professional, and well trained. When you have an emergency in Northampton County, you will be right. We also have a first responders program throughout. Our first responders are spread out through our townships. They are trained on CPR, stop the bleed, and work in administration with the Our first responders have a very important role in EMS. By decreasing the time it takes to get someone that is trained to stop the bleed or trained to do CPR to EMS back. So I take this time to thank them because they do improve our EMS system. Northampton EMS also carries whole blood in our quick response vehicle. We are all alone in the northern part of Northampton County, again, the one county in the northeastern part that does carry blood. The question was brought up by Commissioner Douglas sometime last year, about why does Northampton carry blood? Well, let me say, why doesn't other counties surrounding Northampton carry blood? Instead of answering for them, I'd rather just answer to why we carry blood in Northampton County. Not only do we not have a hospital, we do not have a trauma center, the closest one is Greenville, so we have a long and outcome. Again, why does Northampton carry blood? I would like to describe it as rural disparities. Us in a rural area accounts for 50% of motor vehicle crashes, and we have a higher mortality rate due to chronic cases of trauma. So stopping the bleed, utilization of blood in fields, and utilization of aircraft transport is our ammunition to battle the fight. CPR alone cannot save a patient is bleeding. EMS has to stop the bleeding. We have to put blood in the pump, blood in the pipe, so that CPR and perfuse the tissues, improve the blood. Other indications for paramedics to include blood with intestinal bleeding, bleeding from AV emergencies such as childbirth and pregnancy, and others to come. We also have a community paramedic program. I'm going to just read our brochure that is available. What is a community paramedic? The primary function of community paramedicine is to bridge the gap between citizens and the healthcare system to have better overall health and a better standard of living. Community paramedics are trained to provide healthcare within the community, most often at the patient's house. paramedics provide patient education regarding professional healthcare needs. Services include public health, disease management for chronic illnesses such as diabetes, congestive heart failure, and COPD. We have prevention and wellness such as mental health, addiction issues, or post-opioid overdose resources, home assessment, health education, and consultation. The community paramedic works with other healthcare professionals to determine the long-term plan for patients' needs. So the question I ask community to think for themselves is, are you right to do a community paramedic visit? So, do you want education or do you want public outreach? Do you need home and facility use? Is there a fall risk assessment in your home? Big falls. Any type of hospital discharge follow-ups? We can comprehend that. We can monitor oxygen levels, blood pressure, blood glucose, and heart rate. Electrocardiograms, medication assistance and compliance, make sure you're taking your medicine appropriately, not overdosing yourself. We can answer questions regarding the recent diagnosis or your health. Post-opioid overdose resources, which is providing Narcan education, Narcan administration, and appropriate rehabilitation treatment. Mental health crisis support, which is pretty much finding the appropriate facility that caters to the patient's specific needs. In conclusion, our EMS system wants to bring healthcare comfort and security. As in, when Northampton citizens or visitors has an emergency, you are in the right place. We are trained, we are ready. Anyone interested in becoming an EMT or paramedic, give us a call at 252-524-6811, and we'll point you in the right direction.
Does anyone have any questions for Casey?
I'd like to thank you for what you do. I am a member of the Northampton County Halifax Opioid Coalition. And we probably have seen each other. And the community paramedic, we couldn't make it without you. And Narcan, I don't know how many of our citizens know about Narcan, but Narcan, help me out, is given to prevent a person from overdosing during an opioid crisis. It prevents them from dying. Have we seen an increase in opioid use in our county? Okay. I know it's.
Our first responder program, we give them Narcan.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times they get there and realize when they come to the quickly get them back. Again, I call our first responders.
Make sure you reach out to Megan Vick if you need any additional resources. Okay, because we have that opioid settlement money that we can help you. Okay?
Anyone else have any comments? Thank you, and you know I have a soft spot in my heart for the EMTs since my daughter is one. And thank you for your service. Okay, the E911 communications.
Good evening.
I'm Lakeisha Ransom. I previously bridges for the county communications center. I have been your communications director for the past 3.5 years, but I have been a true telecommunicator, come March 17th. I asked the gala that you draw a printout of what OBU will do. Our mission statement as the first link in the chain of public safety is our mission to provide courteous, reliable, professional service and accountability to citizens of Northampton County. So when you dial 911, your call goes directly telecommunicators answer and determine the nature of your emergency. And then we decide the emergency appropriate responder. We use technology that is location-based to identify the call's location, which we call Rapid Stage 2 and Rapid SOS. And if you all are not familiar with Rapid SOS, it's a safe platform that connects down to your connected devices, so with cell phones and tablets. Okay. The next sheet we have is a diagram that shows the daily functionality of your communication center. For you all that don't know, the communication center is myself along with the communication supervisor. We have 4 shifts. We have A, B, C, and D. They work 12-hour shifts, 2 days on, 2 days off, and every other weekend. And there's also a supervisor on each shift. So, and the next one also states if, when I'm fully staffed, I have 16 full-time employees, and the county has slotted me with 4 part-time employees. And for you all that don't know, the 911 board approved funding for Northampton County to have 5 seated positions. So there are 5 seated positions on each shift, including the communication supervisor. The next sheet is the total annual budget. My budget for this year was $1,304,402. I also have a 911 fund, and that varies from each year. It depends on how much I spend. So I tried to spend a lot of it last year, so I should get a little bit more next year. So a lot of people didn't know that I have the 911 system has 2 budgets along with other departments in the county. So I have to keep up with Mr. Phillips, and I also have to keep up with the 911 board. And with the 911 board, I also have to get prior approval before I spend their money to make sure that the money is eligible for PSAP funding. The miscellaneous, of course, we are your primary public safety answering port for the county. We answer all emergency and non-emergency calls for the county, and we dispatch all the responders. So Casey and the sheriff's office cannot do their job without us. The telecommunicators are certified emergency medical dispatch because we do not have a hospital in Northampton County. So if you dial 911 and you need emergency first, such as CPR, controlled bleeding, poison control, that all starts with us. We are able to launch critical air care and emergency ground transport. This enables us to provide services with rapid transfer to critically ill and injured persons from our rural county to level 1 trauma centers and special care centers. This provides a no cost to the county. So if you see the helicopters in the air, that's UNC Air Care, Vidant East Care, and Duke Life Flight. Before transitioning to just one dedicated helicopter, Vidant East Care provided Northampton County transportation within a 150-mile radius of Greenville. Additional information, due to the evolving technology of our emergency responders, the sheriff's office along with EMS have a live view in our CAD. So what that means is that every information that we enter into the narrative, they can see as we're entering it. And this gives them, the responders, the opportunity to look in any additional notes while they're en route to the call. It also, any information is added before the call, during the call, and at the call. They can see that information before they arrive. 911 calls are now IP network-based called the EZNet. It is designed for all public safety agencies to have a more reliable network to support and transport 911 calls. I went to the hours of last county on that map to transition to EZNet 2 years ago. I also transitioned our admin lines to SIP, which means is that our phone system now is under one umbrella. I do not have to call 2 different entities now. I used to have to call Brightspeed and NMAC, so now all I do is just call NMAC. For you all that don't know what NMAC is, it is a Network Monitoring Assistance Center, and that is provided by AT&T. Last, we work closely with GIS and land records to keep our maps and response districts updated. I'm working with our GSI now to get it updated. Casey added Station 11 to the map because Gaston is no longer responding. So I'm working now to get Station 8 replaced with Station 11 to not confuse our new telecommunicators on what Station 11 is now and what Station 8 used to be. We take and transmit after-hour calls for the county, such as utilities, social services, the magistrate, animal control. So anything that happens in this county, it has to come through 911 first. We also operate terminals that is connected to Division of Criminal Information, which means it's the SBI. License, vehicle registration, warrants, NCIC checks. We're also able to do that. We perform monthly radio checks. All 911 funded PSAPs are called on the statewide program radio channel. We did have an opportunity to assist in Hurricane Helene when the western part of the county was down, and we were able to assist them through the statewide channel. We also monitor our officers on patrol to ensure their safety. And I leave you with this: the true first responder is your 911 dispatcher. When you hear 911 dispatcher, we are not just dispatchers. We are professional, expert, multitasker telecommunicators that is providing a calm voice, who are rarely seen, but provide you with loyalty and strength. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions, comments for Ms. Ransom? I've toured your center a few years ago with the Lions Club, and I was very impressed with the operation. It's interesting if you haven't ever seen it.
You should come now. I've updated our walls, our floors. I've gotten us new furniture. We have new monitors, so you should come on by.
All right.
And revisit.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Is there anything that you need or we can do as a board to help you?
No, ma'am. My thing right now is to help the county. I've gotten everything upgraded. I got our towers upgraded. The last project that I've done is our radios, so Northampton County is Viper ready.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
If you need us now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, the next item is resolution recognizing and approving the NHC Official America 250 Committee. Ms. Godwin?
Hi, good evening, Board, Mr. Manager, and a big thank you to Ms. Gatling, who was a big help to me today. Thank you. I'm here before you. I work in economic development, and right now there is an initiative. Next year is America's 250th anniversary. And so there are initiatives across the country, but in North Carolina in particular, they are requesting each county create a committee, America's 250th committee, to celebrate. This could be a parade, this could be decorations, flags in the community. So I'm here asking about the creation of this committee. I'll be overseeing it. Now, a few good things: it will not cost the county anything, and anyone on this committee, this is a fully volunteer committee position, so there's no mile reimbursement. But once we have that committee set up, there are funds that the governor has put aside for each county across the state. So this would be absolutely no expense to Northampton County and a way to show our pride in our country and to be part of the celebration that's going to be next year across the country. So I'm just here asking if we can get approval to create this committee. And from there, we'll go and start recruiting members and also work with the state on getting the funding we need to show our pride.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for Ms. Godwin? There's a copy of the resolution in your booklet. Let's see.
I do know Halifax has already gotten on the ball with this. For them, they had the celebration of the resolves, and so this kind of leaned into that. Not that I'm competitive, but I'm pretty proud of Northampton County.
I think it's important.
So I want to
that we
make sure if we
recognize-
can represent that we do.
some of you that are my age or older were here when they celebrated the 200th. I was wondering if, the other day, it dawned on me that we were coming up on the 250th, and I was wondering if there was going to be something done. Do we have a motion to accept this resolution to create the America 250 Committee?
Chair Martin, I make a motion that we accept and approve the resolution for the formation of the NHC official America 250 NC Committee.
Okay,
I'll second.
all right. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
I, Barnex Taylor.
Aye. Okay, motion is carried.
Thank you so much. Stay tuned.
Thank you. Okay, next item is the financial matters.
Good evening, Commissioners. I have the pleasure of bringing the report for the month of January. It's January year-to-date spending report. I'm going to start with the revenue section, looking at general funds, and I'm looking in the column that says actual plus encumbrances. And you can see general fund revenues for the year-to-date totals, $29,931,496, or 79.2% received. We also have a column that shows where we were at this time last year at 69.6%. Enterprise funds, $2,007,732, $2,007,732, or 53.2%. Last year, we were at 55.2% for enterprise funds. Garysburg Water and Sewer, $514,970, 65.8% versus 55.6% last year. Solid waste, $2,131,153, or 72.6%. Last year, revenues were at 67.8%. And then DSS, $4,186,060, 49.7%. Last year, we were at 43%. On the spending side, what we like to do, we target our cumulative spending for the year ending January 31st at 58.3%. What we're trying to say is we shouldn't be spending more than 58.3%, and we did not go over that spending limit for any of the funds, with the exception of solid waste, which is at 99.6%. But again, what we do with solid waste is we issue a blanket PO for the entire year, so that kind of skews the numbers and makes it look like we're overspending, but that'll all smooth out as we go further into the year. But you can see last year, this time we were at 104.9% for solid waste. This year, we're at 99.6%. But just to go through the other funds, general funds, we're at $21,085,310, or 55.8%. The enterprise funds, $2,098,073, or 55.6%. Garysburg, $238,697, or 30.5%. Solid waste, again, $2,923,314, or 99.6%. And then finally, DSS at $4,004,483, or 47.6%. And that's all we have for the spending report and for the finance section for this month.
Okay. All right. Next item is county manager and board comments.
I included this for this meeting, I included the budget calendar for this fiscal year. And as you go through it, what we have is the anticipate dates for each of the budget Starting in February and March, what we do during this time frame is the budget is submitted to the department heads. We solicited the notices to all of the agencies that we support, and we asked them to get their budget requests into us so that we can put that into the presentation. By this time, all of the department heads have received their budget worksheets. They're working on that, and what we'll do is I'll sit down with each one of them and actually go through their projections for 25, 26. And any justifications that are needed will be included in that worksheet. What we're gonna do this year is we're gonna include those budget worksheets in the financial packet that you all get, and it's posted on the website so that everyone can see the line items. I have a lot of questions, been getting a lot of questions on what goes into each line item for each of the areas. So we'll have that included this year so that, you know, we can see how those numbers are generated. And once we get past the recommended budget, or the proposed budget, I will then have days when anyone in the community can come. If you want to make an appointment, meet with me, and if you have a particular question on any line item, we can go through that in detail. If I had to go through every line item and every detail, we would never get through the budget presentation. So for the commissioners, it's more like an executive level presentation that you all get. You'll get the packet as much as you want. You can dig into it. But for the citizens, and then of course, for any commissioner, if you want to step by, come by, I'll come meet with you. If we want to go through any line item, I'm available for you all to get a better understanding of how the budget is put together and how we get to the final adoption of those numbers. So with every one of the budget workshops that we have, we're gonna have them, and depending on the questions or suggestions that you all have will determine if we need to meet. I also put option dates, so if for whatever reason we can't meet on a particular date, there's an option date that's included, so that we can meet and make the budget adoption date, which is July 1st.
Okay. Any other comments? If not, we'll go to commissioners' comments, starting to my far right. Commissioner Kedra, with it.
I'd just like to say good evening to everyone and thanking the citizens and employees for coming out to the meeting on tonight. And again, probably about a month ago, I know Commissioner Edwards and we had an opportunity to attend the school that you attend for being a new county commissioner, and it was very beneficial, and we learned a lot of great information, because you learn the difference between, you know, the line between governance and the line between administration. And sometimes as commissioners, we get questions or concerns that we're just not, how can I say, able or permitted to answer. And so as we get those type of concerns or inquiries, we direct those to the county manager, because that's the appropriate protocol. And so just want to be transparent with citizens and sharing that when you bring concerns to us, that those concerns are important, but because of the training and the policy and the guidance, we have to follow the protocol, and the protocol is that we notify the county manager, and that's our process for pretty much following up on those types of things, especially things dealing with personnel. Another thing that often comes up is, you know, about, you know, people when they're hired or those that are not hired, or when people leave this particular organization. That's not in our jurisdiction either. We do not hire a particular employee. The only one that we're really charged with hiring is the county manager. And so just want to make sure that we're sharing information with citizens so that they understand when we're not able to answer certain questions or to respond, it is because that is our due diligence. That's what we took the oath for, and there's just certain things that we can't respond to, but wanting you to know that we do take your concerns seriously, and if you don't get follow-up, that I will definitely follow up on the concerns that you asked me about. But again, just want to thank everybody for coming out, employees, citizens, and continue to be safe, because I know we are anticipating some inclement weather this week, so just asking everybody to be safe. Thank you.
Thank everybody for coming out tonight. Like Kedra said, I enjoy the questions, I enjoy the phone calls. That's just me, I enjoy it. But some things we can't do by ourselves. County manager, we'll forward anything, any concern you have, please let us know. It's not many times I don't answer a telephone call, but I'm always willing to be there to listen. And we'll do the best we can to serve our citizens. Thank you for coming out tonight, and everybody be safe.
Ms. Broadnax-Taylor?
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. I don't know if Mr. Derek Bennett is in here, but I got the opportunity to stop by the new ABC store on Valentine's night.
Now, what are you telling us?
And let me tell you, if I went in blue, I didn't leave blue, I tell you that. That was, going in that shop, ABC store, was like going to a different world. I was provided a tasting experience with different liquors. And I was very concerned, but the policeman was right there telling me that, Commissioner, they can't give you so much now. They can't give you so much because there's a legal whatever. But I want to tell you all that ABC store is out of this world. I will put it up against the stores in Charlotte, Raleigh, and I'm going to tell on myself, everywhere. But that was a wonderful experience to have right here in my own county. And I was very impressed. Your ABC board person was in there, making sure everything was going smoothly. The line was around the building. There was a new bourbon drop, and there were people off the interstate to come buy this bourbon. I said, good gracious, I better stick around for a while. But I couldn't, there were so many people. But again, my hat's off to that ABC store. Job well done, and I will be back.
I would just like to thank everybody for coming out tonight, and also to let our employees of this county know that we do value them and are looking out for them. And just this past week, it was brought to my attention by Commissioner Edwards that there was no heat at the Jackson EMS office, and so I went and got some electric heaters that I had purchased for our church and had my daughter take them out there. So we do care about the employees, and if you'll let us know your concerns, we will do our best to take care of them. And I'd just like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. And I would like to make one comment in relation to the 15%. The cumulative inflation rate from 2020 to 2024 was 21.4%. So as all citizens know, with paying your own personal bills, county is hit by inflation just like everybody else. So, people keep that in mind when you talk about the budget during that same period. We had 21.4% inflation over a 4-year period. So I think we did okay if we only kept it 15%. But thank y'all for coming out tonight, and we look forward to seeing you at the next meeting. Ms. Broad, next, Taylor.
At this time, we will go into closed session.
Make a motion.
Okay, make a motion that we go into make a motion to go into closed session with GS 143-318.11A4-EDC report.
Do we have a second? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion is carried. We will now go into closed session. Thank y'all for coming.